Well, who's out there for some more Tri-5 stuff? I think a lot of folks like that. This is Trevor's car. He's basically wants a hand to get an LS put into here. I don't know how long ago, but it was a long time ago. He did own this car prior. And I don't think he ever actually drove it. He did a bunch of work to it, and then it kind of shipped it down the road there. I guess things have changed and he's got the car back, so it's definitely got a pretty rockin' 70s vibe going on. The headliner's good. It's got this sweet button top. I think he's still got the original fronts, like whatever the buckets or whatever was in the car before, so I think those are going to go back in it. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting setup. It's pretty much just an old school hot rod. That's kind of what it boils down to. But currently no motor. He had it, it did have a small block in it. And the motor's long gone. And he's just picked up an LS, so he kind of just wants to make a cruiser out of it, I guess. Cruiser slash a bit of a hot rod or something. I don't know. Anywho, this is going to be a little bit of a slower project, but as Trevor has time, you do know that he has that Essex over there, but he hasn't been able to. I shouldn't say he hasn't been able to. He kind of was pushing that off and turning that one into a winter project. So, and this is pretty straightforward. We've kind of done the same spiel as that other car I had here. So we're basically buying new tank, lines, pump, like all that jazz. So once the oil pan is done, this and the motor mounts are in, this should be a really easy swap, quick. Very quick. But anyhow, thought I'd do a little walk around till we get her in the shop. I think he's coming by today, so we're just going to get the he's going to pull the oil pan, and I don't know if I'm going to weld it. I think a bunch of us are going to be goofing around in the shop, so I got the carburetor's bad on my T yet again, so I'm going to be swapping that out, and then Trevor will be pulling the oil pan off his motor. And maybe tomorrow night or something, I'll probably weld that up for him. And then it'll be ready to be put all together. And then who knows what the plans are, whether it's next week or not. Then we're going to get that motor sitting in this thing. What say you? What say you? There, see? He wags his tail. All right. Well, we didn't get very far last night. Well, at least Trevor didn't. Well, he got the motor in, you know, got his torque off, got the oil pan off. We're going to have to cut it down. I kind of pre-soaked it, and I think I'm going to do that again. Just to give it a quick pressure wash. And hopefully I have a game plan that I can weld that up a little better this time around. And then we kind of go through evaluating what's good and not good on here, because there's a bunch of things that kind of got broke, I guess, when she got taken off. So got a bit of a parts list to buy. No biggie. Anywho, I guess I'll blast that for him quick, and then I'll measure that up so he can just cut it whenever he's got time. So I've marked this off loosely for Trevor. He can cut that whenever he's got time. So pretty much try to do the closest to the 2-inch cut. And then we'll see if I've learned anything and I can actually weld this sucker together. It'd be pretty cool if I could actually weld this and not need to use the JB welder. But anyways, looks like my marking got a little close, so I might have to blast it a little more. That's not a big deal. I want to try to keep it as clean as I can, and we'll see if that actually helps this cause at all. I cut out this little piece I'm going to do for Trevor's fuel tank for the return. Kind of crooked, but that's not relevant. Doesn't matter. And yeah, I'm basically going to drill and tap this thing. I think it's an 11/32 bit. So I can tap it for, I don't remember the size, but for my fitting anyways, to fit in there. So let's get that done, and then we can get it welded to the tank for the return line. That's the goal of this. Well, that's crap. I clearly ordered the wrong sending unit. So I guess when Trevor gets his car here, or actually it's here, when he pulls the tank out, I'm going to have to modify his unit to accept. I think his sender's bad, so I'll have to modify this sending unit to go on there. I don't feel like spending, or I don't know, I don't feel it's fair for him to have to spend $100 yet because I goofed and ordered the wrong part. So I guess I'll wait till that's out. Till then, though, I'm going to get this tank ready so we can get a return line into it. I'm not going to make the same mistake before because the straps clearly go here, so I'm going to make sure I get that thing, once I make it, like really into the far corner there. That'll be the plan. But first I got to drill this. So we got the fitting buzzed in. I'm just going to wait till it cools down, and then I'll splash some primer on it. Actually, I'd like to put some seal oil on it first because I never trust my welds anyways, but it should be good. I question just up there, but most of it looks okay. But I always put a little splash of that stuff on anyways, just cuz. And well, then this tank is pretty much, once I do that, I can put some paint and she's good to go till Trevor shows up and does it. I don't know if I said before, I basically had blasted everything with the pan. It's all marked up, ready for him to come cut it. And then we can buzz that together quick and drop the tank in. Should be a super quick swap at that point. Anyhow, I'm going to keep messing around with all my other junk. Just figure I'd do a few things, get it ready for him. And that is that. Well, as you see, Trevor had cut up the pan for me, shortened it down. Well, for me, him. I am going to make a quick attempt here and see if the old priming the rail is going to work for me where I weld all this junk together. So let's get the welder ready and give her a try. Oh, weird side note. I have my water cooler. I'm going to try that this round. It hasn't been working. This is a homemade jig that I made. I bought a water-cooled torch. I didn't buy anything fancy or proper. I just kind of made all my junk. So this is just some weird box that I don't know. I just made it. It fits in this drawer. It's full of fluid. I don't have a rad, but for the most part, it works okay. And we're going to see how well it works because I've tried multiple pumps. I've tried these little pony pumps. They don't work well. Like these things, they just can't handle any pressure or anything like that. I think some folks use like a soda fountain pump. I don't have any of those. So what I did is I basically have an EFI fuel pump, kind of like what I use on the LSs there. I have, can I show that right? Yeah, right there. I got a fuel pump and a little 12 volt inverter thing to run the pump. And basically that is running my water cooler for my TIG torch. So we'll see how long it lasts. So far it's been working good. We're going to fire this sucker up and yeah, like I say, some folks were suggesting, because this is super clean here, I don't know if this is going to be porous, but I'm going to try to dab around the whole edge, build myself a little bead. Same thing on here. So then I'm going to be welding good metal to good metal and bypassing the garbage that's on there. Hopefully if I succeed, I'm going to have no leaks, so we'll see. Either this works or I'm going to do my JB weld thing that I always do, so no fret either way. Well, I can definitely say I'm getting better, but I still suck at this. There's a few choice words used, but overall it's pretty good. Maybe the next one I'll get better yet. I don't know. There was definitely there was a lot of suffering going on, but not as bad as they normally are. Anywho, pan's done. We'll have to cut the pickup down. I'm kind of over welding this because I think that took me like an hour and a half or something, so I'm kind of done with welding this stuff up. So anyways, the pan's done. I'll let this dry. We'll kind of prep it up. I'll let Trevor JB weld, or I'll JB weld around it to clean that up, and then we will move on to the next thing, which is going to be the oil pickup. And then I think we're going to do sensors and stuff like that on the motor, get it ready to eventually have some room in the shop. We'll pull this car in and get her done. Alrighty, we threw the car in. Just waiting for Trevor to show up. And then we still got to cut the oil pickup down. So I'm going to do that. I JB welded this because I didn't even bother testing. I'm going to say screw it and it's going to leak. So I just gooped it. Should be good. He's going to have to still come in and clean everything out. I was basically roughing it up. I was using an actual aluminum bit, which works phenomenal. Highly recommend them. Instead of using a regular carbide. These things chew like nobody's business, so you kind of have to watch what you're doing. But anyways, I got that done. Be cutting down his pickup shortly. Then he can get his motor together. We're going to drill it for the temperature and the oil gauge. We're going to get those done. And then we can maybe even get the motor in tonight. That'd be kind of cool.
3 hours later.
Well, we got the oil pan on. Next step is we're going to pull the oil sender out, do the old drill it out so we can put a different sender in it. I'm going to drill this one out and put a tap in it for, I don't remember what the size is, but it's for water temp gauge. And then the next step will be to take this off, get the torque converter on there, and slot the holes in the flex plate for the torque converter to fit on there. And then we can bolt up the transmission and slide her in there. All right, so we got the motor mounts in. We kind of just have them scabbed down using the original passenger side mounts off of Silverado. So those are done in. We got plenty of room for exhaust. We'll have to do some little bit of work with the brake line here, but that's not a problem. Trevor's dropped the fuel tank. As you can tell, that's out. So we're gonna have to change out one of them that's broke. So we'll have to figure out how to get that out of the way so we can get to reuse these tanks, straps. And then, just thought of it. We'll probably just cut it up higher and we'll just weld another nut onto it. I think that'll be the easier way to go about doing this. And then we'll have to wait. Tomorrow he's gonna pick up a motor mount. It's pretty close to what it was with the small block. So we're gonna make a new plate and probably have to build a little tower off of it, but that part's not a problem. And then do the shifter and all the other jazz that goes with this. But so far, we're messing around a little bit here. The one, where are we at? We're like 11:30, and I think if we really Scoobied, we could get the tank in and run the fuel lines. But we'll see where we get, because well, there's plenty of time tomorrow to get some stuff done here. So last night we got the motor in. Try to do a run through. We've poked through all the wiring. We got that all set. Super simple, typical LS. We're going to reuse a fuse box. We got the one single power wire. We're going to loop to a stud. This one's going to go to a stud. This is going to be the ignition power. And this one's going to be the wire we run to the back for the fuel pump. So we got that done. He's got his throttle cable, but he's going to have to get a pedal because we can't reuse the stock one out of the car. He's going to bring a rad. We're going to modify this exhaust manifold. Though I did offset the motor a hair to the one side, so we'll see. We did reuse, if you can see that, I don't know. That's a stock Silverado motor mount that we just welded onto place with some outriggers there. Nothing fancy, we're reusing all the GM stuff there. Same with this side. You won't be able to see that one, but he had one broken coil, so he's got to get a coil. I guess wherever he got the motor, they cut the O2 plug off, so we kind of need that too. Still have to weld up the EGR. I'm going to pinch this tight up here, and then we'll just buzz it up. I welded the one down here already. So let's do the transmission mount. And we got to run fuel lines. So I know Trevor's grabbing a bunch of stuff. I'm probably going to pre-start making the fuel lines and fittings, mount the fuel pump, do those few little things because we can. And we'll see how time is, whether today or tomorrow we actually get this thing going, depending how long it takes them to find all of its parts. But I'm hoping to have the car running this weekend. You know what? This is not working out well. We'll take it out of that side. All right. So we're only doing 5/16 line on this car. I've did, unfortunately, China, but we did the 88 Ford F-150 fuel pump, the inliner. We got that one. We got a filter. And I think we have all the fittings and stuff we need. I'm pretty sure I ordered everything. There we go. These are the part numbers for the fuel line. I don't remember which one these are, but this is for these connectors. So that one is, I think that's 3/8 to a 5/16 line. Because, yeah, 3/8 to 5/16 line, that is this part number. And for 5/8 line to 5/8 fitting is this part number. I didn't go with a very glorified fuel pump. I did this one. There's probably better ones out there. We were just doing a budget build on this thing, so we used that one. I used just a GM fuel filter. I have the means to flare and do this. You can probably buy different ones that already have that stuff on it. And then I just bought some random fittings that'll screw into here. Got some P-clamps. And then there's this 5/16, 25 foot of this fuel line. There is said part number for that. So basically we're gonna kind of scab all of this together here and then run it along the chassis. So I'm gonna do it all, then I'll let him cable clamp it all together the way he wants. And we'll keep chugging along. We're gonna get her. Get her done. Well, that would look good under normal circumstances, but I'm an idiot and didn't compensate for his muffler. Ah, poo. Okay. We'll have to switch this around. Maybe, man, where did I put it? I don't want it high. I kind of want it low so it's not trying to pull from the tank hard all the time. What a goof. What a goof. So it's dead nuts in the way of said exhaust. Good job, Brent. Good job. I could move it over, but then I'm worried I don't have clearance for the diff. Like, in a perfect world, it should be okay. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll re-drill. I'll move it over, I'll re-drill, and I'll kind of redo this line here so that it can pull different. And then I'll pull this fuel gauge out. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unbolt it, I'll move it over and see how everything looks. We'll go with that. All right, so pretty much I made all the bits for this. So this is the fuel filter, inside, out, the push connect ends on it. So this thing's like the bomb. This does everything from regular brake flares to the smaller push connect to the thicker push connects. So this one, I don't know what actual make this one is. I know it's called Master Cool brake flare or something like that. I bought it at a swap meet, so I couldn't tell you much beyond that. I've had to rebuild this thing once because it just wasn't pumping, and it's still kind of hit and miss. But yeah, this one's kind of killer for everything fuel related. I might have to do one more line yet. So anyways, that's that. I'm gonna get this on the rail here, and we'll just finish up the lines up to the motor. We're gonna do a single return all the way back. I just have to do a little bit of a steel 5/16 flitting just so we can get it back to the fuel tank, and then we are golden. Okay, well, this is as far as I'm getting till Trevor shows up. But I have the fuel lines loosely run. Then I'll let Trevor decide where or how he wants to plumb things. You can see there we got the hard lines, which we're just going to rubber over into there. Everything else is just the plastic line. We'll have to clamp this here. Everything else needs to be fastened, and then these got to run up to the motor in some form or way. I think I have everything out of the way, so nothing is in contact with anything. So it should be good there. Put a little bit of rubber around that just in case, but I don't think the exhaust gets that hot that it'll matter, especially if it's in that vicinity. And then here, this one I'm just gonna do the old rubber mount right there to that. That should be fine, hopefully. Yeah, cool. Well, till either later or tonight. Hopefully, we should get her running. Right? We're gonna get her running? Hey, doggo. Hey, doggo. Just gonna hang out. Well, we got the manifold trimmed and in, welded up. I think Trevor has to still rerun the lines and still fasten them. So pretty much just waiting on him to get a lot of that stuff out of the way so we can move on. He brought a couple drive shafts, but they're all too short. So we'll see how that goes. Brought his exhaust. I went through and did the computer, so I got all that wired up. This is ready to go, other than just feeding the power to it. He's got to bring a battery box. Basically, he's got to bring a whole lot of parts. So kind of waiting on that. So this one's gonna sit here in limbo for a little bit till he comes back and gets her done. Till then, I'm just gonna keep plugging away at my mark. So okay, well, Trevor was by. Oh, you want some pets too? All right. All right, here you go. So Trevor was by tonight. I was out, but he got a bunch of stuff done on the car. So we'll have a peek. See, I know we put the transmission mount on, but we're gonna have to build an adapter to get up to it. We might be able to move the mount, but it's still gonna need a spacer. There's room on this mount that we can move it up ahead a bit. I'm not sure if we can move it enough, but I'll have a look at that. Do that for him. He's P-clamped and did everything, got all his lines, ran the wire for the pump back there. We just got to loop that out of the way. I think he's got some exhaust. Well, he's got his exhaust here. I guess I have to figure out how we're lumping them all together. I think that was part of the plan. We had a broken coil, so I think he changed that. So, I got some stuff done. We're a little bit closer. Little bit. First start. Does it go?
No, I'm just priming it.
Oh, it's more than primed. You'll be good. Yep. Yeah. They just work.
It's alive!
So lame.
I know, boring.
No drama.
Boring.
Well, alrighty. Well, everybody's gone. We still got a bunch of ways to go, but it's a pretty small list. Kind of doodled a little list on the board there for Trevor to go through. But he's got to get some. I think he's got the right length drive shaft. He's just got to get the U-joints too, which I'm wondering if he actually did grab those. No, he did not. Yippers. So he's got to pick up some conversion joints. He's got to go from whatever that style is that was on that shaft to the smaller style. Oh well, no biggie. It'll still be here when he comes back tomorrow. Before he goes to the shop. But yeah, runs good. Like I guess they always do. As long as everything's wired up right, they just, I don't know, seem to work. Yeah, I guess that's all we're doing now. We got a shopping list. So hopefully it'll be mobile before the weekend here. He's going to be back tomorrow. We'll see how much stuff he gets, whether we can drive her around or not. Time will tell. Anywho, you ready to go inside? Is that what you want to do? Hey. All right, guys, till tomorrow. Well, Trevor trashed on her tonight, or last night. Got the rad in, all the hoses, everything are in. We're just fixing a leak we had with a thermostat over there. Or not thermostat, but the temp sender. So that part is fixed. And now we can throw his battery back on. He's just got to trim the battery tray. He's got to mount this yet, but he's got a flexible dipstick tube. So I know he got his U-joints for his drive shaft. So he's going to do that. And clean up the wiring, mount the computer, mount his fuse box, and then we just got to plumb in his air line here, or he's just got to plumb in his air intake and then finish up the exhaust. The shifter, everything's in. Actually, I haven't tested that, see if that's right. And then just kind of scab together the exhaust. And then I think she's pretty much ready to go for a road trip. Well, by road trip, go for a boogie up and down the road here. See how it goes. Oh, we got to do his gas pedal too yet. He's got to get one of them. Anyhow, I'm going to test this awful shifter. Well, there's nothing wrong with these. Just, oh yes. Oh, is it a slap shifty thingamabob? Mint. Oh, sorry guys. let me redo this here because the camera angle was terrible for you guys before. But anyways, we shifter works good, so that's a win. I'm not a fan of these, but hey, I don't think he had one on the column or anything in here, so I don't think the choice was there to use something else. So we got all of our gauges are hooked up now. Yeah, like I say, it's getting close. Getting close. Definitely has some noisy lifters, eh? Trevor's got the drive shaft in, just topping up the fluids and stuff. I guess one of the last things to do is the exhaust here and mount the PCM and the wiring, and then we'll have to just figure out the airbox dealio yet, but just about there. Well, exhaust is all done and in, so now we're going to see if the car's quieter than my Merc. The toss-up. Actually, no, yours has got a better rumble than mine. As little of rumble as that is. It's got a wee bit more than mine. Eh.
What? I didn't even hear it. That sucks.
I'll do that pulley too. Just about there. You're good, crank it. Good to go. Yeah. Trevor's on one of many romps up and down the road. He's just been gone with his car. I'm thinking it goes good. All right, I think we're done. We Trevor took it for a couple little runs last night because I think he had the transmission was a little too full, so was doing some weird shifting things. Drained that down a bit. That seems to be fixed. Pretty much puts a very short list left on the car, which I think he can pretty much all do at home from this point. The front bumper, I think he's going to do a bunch of rust repair on it yet. The shifter needs to be adjusted. It's not quite right. But whatever. It drives. Runs, drives, stops. It's kind of the goal he was going for. It wasn't a high dollar swap. It's a little more than doing a small block, but it's we just needed the fuel pump and lines. That's really the gist of it. But I didn't get into detail about the wiring and stuff like that because, well, I've done it on other videos. This was just more focusing, taking something that the car he got back that's been sitting for, I don't even know what it's been, 10, 15 years or something, and getting her back roadworthy anyways. So that's where we're at. So I guess the only thing left to do is take you folks along for a ride yet, and we're going to call her done. So anyways, as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.